It's time for a cup of coffee with Will and Chris at Slumberland Furniture. From Slumberland Furniture in Osage Beach, here are your hosts, William Holtz and Chris Schneider.
It's that time for your weekly cup of coffee from Slumberland at the lake. Wild Will.
Uncle Chris.
And although it's election week, we're not even going to talk about election or politics. Not national anyway. We got plenty here locally to talk about. On the other side of the break, we're going to have Monica Spear with the Ozarks Coast Kiwanis Club. Hey, they got some really cool, remember the duck drop, right?
Oh, yeah.
They got the Christmas for Kids annual fundraiser coming up in December. She's going to tell us all about that. Plus, Osage Beach, they double down on the bull, right?
Save the bull.
Yeah, no, don't save the bull. They
okay.
Double down. We'll update you. Their record year for Missouri black bears. A lot of people don't even know you can hunt black bears in Missouri. The 4th year for that. Plus, high-speed chase, big, the second tallest flagpole in the United States. This Saturday, going to be unveiled by Midwest Roofing. That and a whole lot more after this from Slumberland at the lake.
Big, beautiful sectional for just $9.87 with a free ottoman. Big deals.
Black Friday deals.
All month long, up to 60% off list, only at Slumberland. Relax in this power reclining sofa for just $7.97 with a free power recliner. Deals so big, prices so low, all month long. Like this incredible sofa for just $298.
Black Friday all month long sale.
Get these deals while they last, only at Slumberland Furniture.
Heck yeah.
All right, as promised, we're going to be talking Christmas for Kids in the Ozark Coast Kiwanis Club. And joining me, new Vice President, Monica Spear. And I understand you're newer. They kind of elected you, and you weren't even there.
Yep, exactly how that went down. But no, we're excited.
Awesome. Good for you, Vice President Spear. And so, first, before we go into a couple of the events that you guys do, we know the duck drop, and we know some of those efforts throughout the year. But people may say, so what is the Ozarks Coast Kiwanis Club?
Yeah, so the Kiwanis Club we are part of a national organization, but we've got a local club here at the lake area. We are geared towards helping kids and other nonprofits, but we are specifically for minor children in the lake area community. We focus at Lake of the Ozarks. We focus on Camdenton, Max Creek, Lynn Creek, Eldon. We help all of the kiddos in that area. But we are geared specifically for children.
That's awesome. And then there's a lot of need. A lot of people don't realize that, right?
Yep.
They see Lake of the Ozarks, vacation destination, big homes. But people live here year-round. There's a poverty level that a lot of people don't know about. So these efforts are crucial. Like I said, we know about Duck Drop. The lake loves that. And so there's other events you guys do. Touch on a few of those other events you guys do.
Yeah, so the big one in August we do is the Duck Drop. And that we just had that. It was a great event. We have our next one coming up is Christmas for Kids. So we do 2 major events in the year that are big fundraising events. So the one we've got coming up in December, on December 7th, is Christmas for Kids. And that one is geared towards helping raise funds and get toys together to donate to a bunch of different organizations and families around the area for Christmas presents. So we'll donate to the School of the Osage, CADV, Citizens Against Domestic Violence, Big Brothers Big Sister, the Changing Table, Wonderland Camp, Central Missouri Foster Care, an adoption association, and other organizations. So everything that we raise from that is going to get donated out to other organizations and other families in our area.
Super. And so for people out there, they're like, okay, so how can we get involved? I guess you can buy tickets and attend the event. I see it's at the Encore. It looks like there's auction. And so tell us a little bit about what's going to take place that night at the Encore.
Yeah, so it's going to be, we're really excited. We've kind of revamped this year. So maybe some of you guys remember, this event's been going on for many years. I remember going to, hearing about it as a kid, because it used to be 21 and up, and you'll hear people that have been there 10 years ago who used to call it Lake Prom. We had to revamp with COVID. Things we all know.
So this is the big Christmas for Kids that's been revamped. And okay,
so we've resurfaced it a little bit, but we're kind of bringing it back to life, and we're going to be at the Encore. It's going to be out on their sky patio. They've enclosed the sky patio, so it's going to be great. We're going to have live music. An all-you-can-eat buffet, a silent auction, a live auction. Our live auction, we have Taylor Swift memorabilia. I think we've got a guitar signed by Taylor Swift. We've got Chiefs gear that's going to be lined up. We've got Duncan Jewelry has got a Citizens Watch that they've donated to us. So we've got a lot of really good stuff for the auctions, and we've got our auctioneer. So it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be a whole night worth of events. So on out, bring your friends, and we should have a really good time.
And listen, if you guys haven't seen like the Encore Lakeside Grill and Sky Bar with that enclosed, we were just there
Yep.
a couple weekends ago for a fight, and you'd be surprised at what they can do in there.
Yep.
You've got to see that. And listen, it looks like there's sponsorships available. You could make donations, I imagine. And so for people out there that maybe want to donate something or get involved, what do you guys have available for them?
Yeah, so we're really looking for sponsorships right now. We've got several different sponsorship levels that include tickets. Our biggest sponsorship level, our angel level, is $2,500. It includes your tickets and toy donation. It comes down from there from $2,500 to $2,000 to $200 if you can't attend and just want to donate. Wow. Those are options. You can see all of the sponsorships out on our website, lakeareachristmasforkids.com. We've got flyers out and around in the community. But if you also just don't want to sponsor and want to attend, because butts and chairs are important. We want people there. Is $75 plus an unwrapped toy. That $75 does get you the all-you-can-eat buffet, the live music, access to the auctions, etc. So it'll get you into the event.
And this all-you-can-eat buffet and appetizers, I'm guessing this is like from the Encore.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Man.
No, they've put together an awesome menu for us, and it's going to be really, really good.
I mean, that's worth the price of admission right there. Should be a great night, and live entertainment from 7:30 till 11. And just a great cause. I see some of those organizations you mentioned, and if you don't know, all of these are probably available through your guys' website. And so some of those efforts as far as Facebook and website, how can people reach out and maybe find out more about you guys?
Yeah, so we do have a Facebook, also Ozarks Coast Kiwanis, like our website. But this event, again, lakeareachristmasforkids.com. And just something else I want to briefly highlight. So last year we were able to raise about $13,000. Our goal this year is $20,000.
Wow.
But what this event also does, and the proceeds from this event, we give out grants every year. And actually, I think this week we're giving out grant checks. We're able to give away, I think, upwards of $25,000 worth of grants this year to the nonprofits, some of the ones I just listed. And so anything that we can raise above and beyond toys and stuff, we give back out to our community. So it all goes back out to the nonprofits in our area. And so that's another big goal for this. So
that's awesome. And that is the Ozarks Coast Kiwanis Club. And this is the Christmas for Kids, the big event Saturday, December 7th. And I'm sure you can buy tickets online or on the website. And then if they do they need to get tickets at the door, or would you not wait probably?
Please, we really don't want you to wait, because Encore, they are wanting a head count.
Sure.
So they really would like to have a head count by mid to end November. I think November 23rd is the date that they're really pushing for us to have a head count for them. So we really, really encourage, if you're interested, please purchase tickets as soon as possible so we can get Encore the information that they need from us.
Awesome. And please be there. We're looking forward to it. Going to be a great night, December 7th. Monica, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah.
We'll be right back on Lake TV's Cup of Coffee after this.
You got to join us for this week's COMC Community Spotlight Show. We're talking with former Major League pitcher Steve Watney, lives here at the lake now, a part of the FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, but he pitched in the major leagues for the Blue Jays and Tigers. So we'll talk to him about his journey to get to the major leagues, how that happened, what that was like. So be sure to join us for the COMC Community Spotlight Show.
Steve Watney, how cool is that guy?
Oh man, he is great. Former major league pitcher, ups and downs, and and that's one thing a lot of people, I guess, have to go through in their life is when one career comes to an end, you got to figure out what you're going to do next. Life can be tough sometimes, even for people like that pitched in the major leagues.
Yeah, we have the blessing, the honor. We actually got to spend a little time with Steve and his wife, Susie, and they got just an amazing story.
Yeah, they do.
They're just cool.
You're going to see that in future months on the Spotlight Show, too.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
I didn't want to say too much, but I mean, just inspiring.
Oh, it really is.
Really beautiful stuff. Okay, so as we move on, it's been big headlines, right? The Domenico's Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. And probably even initially blown out of proportion. I mean, this became massive news. I mean, even the city, KRCG and KY3, they were doing stories on that. And so after our show came out last week, the Lake Expo came out with an article on Wednesday where the city of Osage Beach actually came out with a statement kind of doubling down saying, hey, they broke a ordinance and they were out of code. And so the story from Lake Expo, it looks like they say, hey, the sign is not grandfathered in.
Yeah, so here is the statement in full from the city of Osage Beach. It says, the city of Osage Beach wants to correct disinformation circulating on social media regarding a code violation citation against Dominicos on the lake. The bull itself is not a violation of the city sign code. The violations stem from the signs on either side of the bull, which are well in excess of the allowable size, and the unlicensed and inappropriate trailer the bull is attached to. So now they're saying it's not the bull, it's all the stuff around the bull. It goes on to say all businesses in Osage Beach are limited to a certain number and total square footage of signs based on the city's sign code, using a formula of the property's road frontage, square footage, and lot size. It goes on to say these issues were conveyed to the business on several occasions. The prohibited sign was moved to an adjacent property used as an overflow parking lot. However, it remained visible from a public right-of-way and not affixed to the property, making it an off-premise sign, which is also against the city sign code. So they're not backing down on this. They're still coming full forward on this, even though the PR on this is horrible for the city.
Sure. I mean, it's kind of wild. We even saw this week afterwards, Nathan Rennie put on Citizens for a Better Camden County, he put a post gauging the locals of recalling Mayor Michael Harmon. He believed it would need 1,300 signatures, is what they claim, took off, and there was a lot of feedback. I reached out to Mayor Harmon on Monday to see, hey, like, this is getting out of hand. You didn't talk to me last week. You obviously aren't replying to me now, but I did happen to see that there's a question of that, and I just asked him, like, are you going to address this, or would you even consider resigning?
You mean a recall from him as mayor?
Correct.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There was a feeler put out on Citizens by Nathan Rennie that said it would take 1,300 signatures, is what they claimed. I don't know if that's true. It got a lot of attention, but I asked him that, and he said, hey, I don't respond to fake news. So whatever, I get it. Mayor Harmon, he's kind of backed up against a wall. He hasn't talked to us. He's not going to start now. But I did happen to listen to his interview on Monday on KRMS Morning Magazine with Tony Harmon, and essentially said we're like a wannabe news network. But here's the scary thing. He's kind of backing away, saying we're just trying to do what's safe. On his interview, like I said, he referred to Facebook also as fake news. He said if you get on Facebook, it's fake news, which is weird because these are literally hundreds and hundreds of the mayor's constituents, like people that voted for him, right, that he's supposed to be representing. But he said the bull for many years was in violation and out of ordinance. They let it go for whatever reason. And then it was funny, he said, I realized over the weekend maybe my boat was out of ordinance. Oh. So he went up there and he moved it. By the time he got in Monday, it had hit the fan. He goes, and I needed to address it. He claimed the bull was gone for 6 months and a day, and then he showed back up. And the trailer that it was on was not in good condition. And so now it was time to enact. Now it's no longer safe, right? He also claimed that the city sent 3 mailings to Dominicos. And the 4th time, they got nailed and it got ignored and they got the citation. But do you not go pick up the phone and call the business, or like, if you're like for the business, don't you as the city go there and say, hey, like we've sent a couple, are you not getting these? But instead, they get fined in a citation. Interesting. Now, I'm not going to get into some of the personal mudslinging personally between Harmon and I and our text back and forth, because the people have spoken. It really doesn't matter what I think, and it really doesn't matter what anybody thinks. The people of Osage Beach, in overwhelming fashion, have been like, save the bull. This is bad. And so you can push back all you want, right? And you can say this is a safety concern, and even Tony Harmon on Morning Magazine said, we should let the city and Dominicos figure this out. But the problem is the mayor right now has absolute power to make this go away. And for somebody who desperately, desperately needs a PR stunt or something in the public eye to work in his favor, I'd say take advantage of the Missouri Constitution, Chapter 77.360, that said the mayor shall have power to remit fines and forfeitures and to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses arising under ordinances of the city. Right there. So you could make it go away. And when there's somebody that also called in yesterday in Morning Magazine that Tony agreed with and Mayor Harmon agreed with that said the mayor has no power, literally in these small municipalities. Well, it's the city administrator, the planner, and the code department all work under the mayor's discretion and his appointment, Missouri Constitution, Chapter 77.042. That's not true. The mayor has power, and he can make this go away. But maybe I'm getting this all wrong, Chris. Like, maybe I shouldn't be all that concerned about the bowl in Osage Beach and what the city is doing with it. And maybe we should be thanking the city of Osage Beach. I mean, honestly, I think they're just concerned about our well-being and our safety, Chris.
Okay.
I'm so happy that we now live in a world where we can go to Domenico's without the fear of a rabid bull jumping off an unsafe trailer with retaliation and revenge set in his eyes to take out any carnivore that walks through the door ready to tear down the all-you-can-eat prime rib. That's got to be a very serious fear that luckily our elected officials are handling on our behalf. And hey, and if you won't join me in thanking them, you may be interested in looking at that recall that might be coming. And it wouldn't just be the mayor. There is a possibility they could recall the entire board of aldermen with the city of Osage Beach. And it may only take 1,300 signatures. I don't know how factual that is, but interesting. They doubled down.
That would seem to be a lot of signatures considering, I think, I'm trying to remember how many votes Harmon got to be mayor, but I don't think it took that many. It was like 300 or 400, right? I mean, you don't have to get that many votes in Osage Beach to become the mayor, so.
No, and I'll just say this, like, it really doesn't matter like what story we do or what stance we take on Cup of Coffee. Like, people see through Mayor Michael Harmon in the city of Osage Beach at this point in time. They've made their bed, and so now you just need to know that if a recall or something to have somebody removed doesn't take place, April is the municipal elections. And there's already about 3 or 4 names that I hear that'd be interested in running for mayor for the city of Osage Beach. And I'm not sure that Mayor Michael Harmon would rerun. I know he has his eyes set on the Missouri Senate. And as good as my joke about the rabid bull on the trailer was, I'll tell you one even better. Michael Harmon as a Missouri senator.
Okay. All right.
That's 2 this week I got. So as we move on, record year for Missouri black bears in the state of Missouri. A lot of people didn't even know you could hunt black bears in Missouri.
Yeah, the black bear population has really grown. So Missouri hunters harvested 15 of these black bears during the 4th season. That was between October 21st and 30th. So the Missouri Department of Conservation reported nearly 6,000 hunters applied for these permits, and a max of 40 bears could have been harvested. In all, 15 were harvested. So there's 3 zones. They call them bear management zones, BMZs. So in zone 1, 12 bears were harvested. Zone 2, 3 bears, and in zone 3, no bears. So of the 15 bears harvested, 13 were taken using firearms, guns, right? 1 with archery equipment. There's a brave hunter right there, baby, a brave hunter. And 1 with a crossbow. 10 of the bears were male, 5 were female. But yeah, that is really becoming a bigger season in Missouri now.
It always like surprises people. That's the 4th year, right, for it. We've covered it every year, told you about, hey, it's coming, and how many. That's a record, right? 15 this year. And so it's crazy that 6,000 different people apply, like for the rights, the permit to go black bear hunting. And as you alluded to those different zones, but every time I first see that story, I always look at the comments and the reactions, and people seem to be really angry. And of course you have the animal activists and the PETA groups that I'm sure are against that. But this seems to be, they broke it down to zones. This is really about keeping them populated and, you know, make sure you know what's going on and that the habitat is, I guess, sustainable for.
I've always wondered so you shoot a black bear, what do you do with it? You know, do you eat the meat? Do you use the fur as a carpet or something? You know, I don't know.
I don't either. Like, the only thing I think of when I see or think about a bear being hunted is him on display at, you know, Wonders of Wildlife. Johnny Morris is museum and aquarium down in Springfield. That's where you see those, right?
I used to watch that show, people living up in Alaska, and they would actually shoot black bears and eat the meat. That was like what would get them through the winter. So I know the meat is edible, and they even thought it was good, but I've never heard of people eating, a black bear steak or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not going to be the first to suggest it
No.
either. All right, so 15 of 40 possible. So, there must be a lot. They allow 40, and so, that's like 35, 40% of the allotted amount. So
And
there's
again,
room
kudos
grow.
to whoever the hunter was that shot him with a archery, with a bow. Because from what I hear, if you shoot a bear and you don't kill it, it gets mad. And it's coming at you, right? So
Well, I don't think you'd have to hear that. Like, that makes perfect
It
sense.
does
like,
make
if
sense.
you get shot, you're going to be mad.
wow. Yeah.
All right, so hey, this is a wild story, also from Lake Expo. A St. Louis man's in custody, 37-year-old Brennan Christopher England. It was the Miller County Sheriff Department, Missouri Highway Patrol, that were in pursuit on 54 before exiting east onto 52 towards Tuscumbia. England was driving a 2014 Porsche Boxster.
Yeah.
And here's why it was super scary. He was going over 180 miles an hour, but he was getting close to the Tuscumbia School District,
Yep.
Miller County R3, that was about to let out.
Yep.
So the authorities put out spikes. They were in fear of the kids getting out, and I believe that trying to miss the spikes, he wrecked, and they were able to get 37-year-old Brennan Christopher England 2 counts, Class D felony, aggravated fleeing, stop, or detention, being held in the Miller County Jail with no bond.
180 miles an hour near a school zone. So, yeah, that's a scary situation, being held without bond.
And he refused medical treatment,
Yeah.
so it's surprising that he wasn't hurt,
Yeah.
going that fast. Who knows if he was slowed down at that point. But in the pursuit, they noted, the authorities noted that he hit speeds over 180 miles an hour. Don't try that one at home.
No.
All right, so hey, we told you about it last week, but Lake Expo's story went crazy, went viral. Like, you've seen that big pole, right?
Yeah.
Off 54 between Eldon and Lake Ozark. That is going to be the second tallest flagpole, not in Missouri, in the United States of America.
Yeah, and if you say how tall, how about 242 feet tall? 242, that is up there, man. I wonder what's taller than that. Maybe the Washington Monument?
No, it was actually like a
like that?
Camping World or an RV.
Oh, really?
Something like that. That
Okay.
was, but hey, listen, again, Saturday, it's the grand opening and flag raising
Yep.
from 10 to 2. They're going to raise the flag at 11. Food trucks, ribbon cutting, live music, bounce houses, monster truck display. They're celebrating veterans, local veteran, Mr. Koch. He's going to speak. You'll also get remarks from Governor Parson.
My buddy, Mike Parsons.
Yeah,
Hey.
you got to see him. And I didn't know if I was really a fan of Governor Parson. Every time you get to hear him speak or get to be around him, he's the most likable guy.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he does seem to be a likable guy.
What you can see is he's worked hard and he is tired.
Yeah. Well, and he comes from a small town, Wheatland, I guess. So that would be a job. I couldn't do that. That would wear me out. There, politics is so hard. So
You want to know what I
ugly,
loved?
You know.
Probably shouldn't even repeat this, but at Quaker, that event that he
Yeah.
said to that group there was like, what we need to do here in Missouri. And he's focused on hey, education as far as not always four-year university, trade school. It's like,
Yeah.
he's hitting the nail on the head with this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, we got to focus on our state. Like, we want to focus on these national issues. He's like, well, I think the national issues are maybe beyond helping. And I was like, did he just say that?
just said that,
He's like
yeah.
one of us, right? Like, he's a regular guy. Anyway, that event, Saturday, 10 to 2. Don't miss that. That's going to be an awesome one.
So I've got to ask, aren't you hot? You're wearing that cool coat here on the set, a cup of coffee, and you're not even sweating or anything.
No, this is my new sweet. I don't know what you call it. I'm gonna say it's a.
It's like a Michelin
drip.
Man
I'm gonna
coat,
call it
right?
my drip. My new drip. Yeah, this is a gift from head coach Shannon Jolly of the
so-
Osage Indians.
Yeah, Indians football.
Indians football. Give some love to the Indians, and boy, I'll tell you what. It was a crazy night Friday. The Indians won, but I want to focus on one young man, Jason Colonius, the senior. Family, Don and Art. They got huge family. They lost their family home they've been in for nearly 30 years to a house fire last Tuesday,
burned
right?
down.
Woke up Wednesday in ashes, right? Fortunately, None of the family was hurt. They did lose 3 cats in the fire and all their family possession. A GoFundMe has been started this week, and it's getting real close to its goal. And Art Colonius, he offered a statement. He handed it to Mike and I for a broadcast Friday. And I wanted to read it again. This is from Art. He says, the Colonius family would like to thank the community for their generosity and prayers. Though we lost our worldly possessions in the house fire, the support and prayers of our community have been overwhelming and humbling. We'll make it through this tragedy as we have our faith within us, our family beside us, and our community behind us. Thank you all for your continued support, and know that we will always be grateful to be part of this community. Go Indians. And so what's crazy is, before they relocated, the Colonius family, to the lake, they lived in St. Peter's, same community Fort Zumwalt South is from.
Really? Okay.
Osage set to play Fort Zumwalt South Friday night in the district opener. Will Jason play? Pretty tough week for the young man, right?
Yeah.
I asked Art before the game. He said, I looked at him and I said, son, you have to play because I know that you need it, but even more than that, I need it. So Jason would end up playing, and not only did he play, but he played in a big way. A slow start in the game with Osage trailing in the first quarter, 6-0. This happened.
Has a guy wide open, looking for Jason Colonius, who hauls it in inside the 30, inside the 20. He will score. 65-yard connection. Maverick Trusty to the senior Jason Colonius.
Then, if that wasn't big enough, Fort Zumwalt would answer with a field goal to regain the lead headed into the second half. So with his team trailing in the third quarter, once again, Jason Colonius answered the call.
They've been doing that all day.
Instead, they go Colonius with a big gainer here, and here goes Jason Colonius still on his feet. Inside the 20, inside the 10 to the house, Jason Colonius for the second time tonight. It's for a 56-yard touchdown run.
Can you believe that?
Pretty impressive, man.
The Indians would go on to take the lead and never look back, scoring 43 unanswered points, 36 in the third quarter. They'd win 50-16. Jason Colonius finished with those 2 touchdowns, 9 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, and a quarterback sack, and was our buckle up, phones down player of the game. We talked to him in the post game. It was a moment much bigger than football, and the Colonius family, beloved by the entire community, from the Eldon, the Osage, Camdenton, so many people know him. I grew up with the family in Eldon, just supporting, and they still need help, so make sure you do your part to reach out. But pretty special moment. Jason Colonius puts the Indians on his back. They're going to play again, but that's tough to step up and play with the week you have like that. Pretty special.
So difficult. You know what I really love, though? I was watching the game on Lake TV Friday night, watching you and Mike Bissell, and watched the post-game show, and it really impressed me. And I told Coach Jolly this, is that when you were talking to the players, they were giving the love to each other. They weren't looking for the spotlight on themselves. They were, they really loved Jason Colonius, and you could feel it.
Oh, yeah. Most people that may be close to the program, people are like, oh, yeah, you like Osage because they're 8-2, right? No. It's not really about the wins and losses. When you understand what they're doing within that program, and like I said, the whole season, it's never been about one player. They always like to lift each other up. That's seen by people close to the program. That's what this right here represents. Yeah. It's much bigger than a game. And again, thank you to the Osage Indians, and just a big night for Jason Colonius. Pretty special moment. And as well, big weekend. Saturday morning, we went out to the city of Osage Beach City Hall and Police Department. They had the first annual Memorial Walk and Run to Remember for Felicia Carson. Yeah. All proceeds went to the Pregnancy Help Center and the local COPS, COPS organization, Concerns of Police Survivors. It was a great turnout. We saw family, we saw friends, co-workers with Felicia Carson that were there.
Did you run?
I did not. My father-in-law, Pete Leva, of course, who's a city corporal, he ran. Anita, his wife, ran, and then
I thought I saw you running.
I was, for like a short clip, for the very end, I was shooting videos and photos. My wife ran.
That's what I thought I saw.
Listen, Pete pushed my daughter in a stroller the entire 5K. I was the only one in the family that didn't. Somebody had to shoot these videos.
You're the only smart one there, I guess,
the
right?
videos and photos, I'm always willing to take those if it gets me out of an early morning run. But a great event. The community turned out for that. And then on Lake TV, this week, brought to you by Chris Lyko, get ready to illuminate your lakefront paradise in 2024. We already told you about the Spotlight Show, but don't miss Happy Hour. And it's a big coaches show with Coach Jolly and Coach Parr Pitts headed into the semifinals. Have a great week until next week from Slumberland at the Lake.